Now, throughout the morning, we've been hearing about the row over off-road driving lessons for children aged as young as 11. Some motoring organisations think the lessons in empty car parks, maybe in airfields, will make youngsters more responsible.
Yes, but a road safety charity fears it could actually lead to more accidents once they pass their tests. Motoring expert Quentin Willson is here along with his 11-year-old son, Max. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Hello.
Max, I'm going to talk to you first because I know that you've had 5 driving lessons, haven't you?
Yeah.
And what can you do with your driving?
Well, I could use it to make the future roads safer.
Right, and what have you learnt?
Well, I've learned lots of things about parallel parking, actually about roundabouts, lots of actually unique driving techniques.
Now, I'm thinking to myself, Quentin, you love motoring, you love cars. Is this really not a bit of indulgence? It's something you would have loved to have done when you were 11 years old and now you're passing it on to your son, or is it genuinely about safety?
He's not interested in cars at all, are you?
No.
Not just zero interest. The thing about this is, when you look at the Swedish research which originates all this, they changed their driving age, the practicing age, to 16 from 17 and a half. So it gave them a kind of a year and a half extra driving. And then they tracked these 2 groups of Swedish people. And the ones who did take the early lessons are 40% less liable to have an accident than those who didn't. Now, that's a massive, massive figure. So if we can actually learn what happens when you're young and you start to drive, because we know that kids are much more receptive to stuff at early ages. And a 17-year-old is quite resistant, grunty, not really interested in taking commands. Whereas at this age, they come out of these cars with a high seriousness. He concentrated like a concert pianist for an hour, working around these cones. He's got learning difficulties, but he came out of it not full of testosterone, not full of kind of I'm going to go fast, but with a real commitment. That's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you were listening to the instruction, you really listened and followed what they were saying, did you?
Yeah, I listened to it. I was hanging on every word.
Did you? Well, that's very, very laudable. Did they say to you how different it would be when you finally get behind the wheel on the road? You know there's going to be people around, other cars, pedestrians. They try and explain all that stuff to you?
Yeah, they explain everything. At all, everything, and also they actually have people walking across the road as pretending to be a pedestrian.
Okay. Well, that maybe addresses some of the issues. Cause I know the project you were talking about in Scandinavian countries bringing the age, but they of course are learning on the roads, aren't they? Yeah. And that's the clinch here. The danger might be that these youngsters, Max is clearly taking it very seriously, but these youngsters think they know the controls and they can work the car perfectly well, but that is an entirely different thing from being out on the road, and you're at a different age anyway. At 17, you're not 11, and maybe your concentration possibly isn't quite as good by then. You're thinking about other things.
Once you make all this, what they call below-the-dashboard stuff automatic, then we can get kids to get on the roads when they are learning to drive and be able to do all the roadcraft stuff and concentrate on that rather than concentrating on when is the right time to change gear. They spend half their learning time dealing with the controls. That could all be done at a much earlier age, and the precious, precious time they spend learning to drive on the roads can be to work out all the dangers and how to protect themselves. I really do think that because this is 40% reduction, we need to look at this and we need to debate it. Is it a way of changing kids' behaviour in cars? OK, well, we're going to discuss it further because you're coming back in about an hour's time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Max.
Thanks, Max.
And we'll see you a little bit later.